that in just seconds saves people from deadly allergy attacks. We do have breaking news on this. Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, is saying this afternoon that Mylan's response to his query over massive Epi Pen price increases is, quote, incomplete. Now, on August 22nd, Grassley demanded that Mylan fully explain the 550% price hike of the Epi Pen, which Mylan produces. The U.S. Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations probing Mylan and CEO Heather Bresch, who has presided over multiple price hikes of the auto-injector device, which as recently as 2007 cost $57. Well, today the price of a packet of 2 can run more than $600. Our next guest is not waiting around for the government to deal with this. He's representing the first person in the nation to file a class action lawsuit against Mylan. First on Fox Business, attorney Carl Lewis joins me on behalf of his client, Lydia Bates. Welcome, sir. Talk about this. Why have you and Lydia Bates decided to pursue this class action suit? What's your charge?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. My client, it's Linda Bates, would love to join you, but she's doing what she should do, and she's been a great mother picking up her children, so she couldn't join us today. I'm filing this lawsuit because Mylan Pharmaceuticals, in their greed, their gouging, just the unbelievable arrogance to not reduce the price is probably surprised that a young man from Cincinnati, Ohio, would be the first to file a class action lawsuit to get them to wake up and do the right thing for the American consumer, and that is reduce their prices immediately. Not next week, not with a coupon, but drop those prices now, and anyone that's been forced to pay the difference, refund the difference.
Okay, let me jump in and ask. Have you heard from other people? You started filing this on behalf of Linda, one individual. Tell me the reaction so far. You've had about 72 hours since you filed this thing.
It's been unbelievable. Since I filed the lawsuit and just had local media coverage in my hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, my phone started to ring. My voicemail was full. We're now beginning a 1-800 number. I've had to design a website, and that will be up and running within the next 24 hours. We have probably close to 1,000 people that have reached out to us. Social media is unbelievable. Facebook, Twitter, it's been blowing up. And I thought it would just be Ohio, but it's all over the country. Even to the point that following an interview that I had, the person that was interviewing me asked to step inside and speak to me. They were in tears as a mother and said, you know what, I'm embarrassed. My husband and I are both gainfully employed, and we may be engaging right now in neglect to our child because we cannot afford the $625 payment for the Epi Pen. Yeah, so she doesn't have an Epi Pen for her child.
Mr. Lewis, let me just, but yes. Let me ask, class action suits involve proving injury or some kind of, whether it's physical or monetary injury. What specifically do you want from Mylan?
Mylan has injured not only the Ohio consumer, but the American consumer, because as you stated in your opening, is that this auto-injector is not something that you might want to have. That's something that you should have. You've got to have it. It's life-saving. The injury is, and this is what Mylan is going to run up against, and which really would be detrimental, but could happen. Someone could die as a result of not being able to afford the injector. That's what we're saying. That is the injury. If your child cannot afford to have that, and they have a peanut allergy, they eat a peanut butter sandwich, any type of other peanut, and then they go into anaphylactic shock, what do you do?
Okay, but let me
Can't afford it?
Let me play devil's advocate. Let me pretend I'm Mylan for a moment. We're in the catbird seat. We are the only company right now, and it's not our fault that the FDA has not approved another company to make one of these things. We're in the catbird seat. Legally, we can do whatever we want here. I mean, I just don't know how you can enforce price controls on a company, and you keep saying drop the price immediately to what? Who would deem what that price should be?
And I suspect that that's what Mylan's lawyers will say to me. That's what Mylan's CEO will say to me. And let me counter with this. If, in fact, we don't have laws, if we don't have individuals such as myself and the other lawyers that will join me on this to challenge Mylan, champion for the consumer that you can't just set any price that you want. And let's go to something that is not as important as an auto-injector. Let's suppose you want a gallon of milk, and that gallon of milk costs you $2.39 a day. You go back next week, and now it's $175. You're going to tell me, Mylan, that that's okay? It's not. And you know what I say is that we are now challenging Mylan. We are creating the rules that have to be played by, and the rules are fair. You have to be fair. You can't give yourself an $18 million salary bonus directly tied to the pay increase, to the increase for Epi Pen.
Well, Mr. Lewis,
That's what I say.
please come back with Linda. We want to hear from her, too, and we have to see if a court will certify this, so keep us posted. Thank you very much.
Linda will be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Carl Lewis, who was the first attorney to file a class action